एक छोटी सी गांव में जो पहाड़ियों और पुरानी जंगलों के बीच बसा हुआ था, एक छोटी सी लड़की रहती थी जिसका नाम क्लारा था। क्लारा अपनी क्यूरियोसिटी और दयालुता के लिए जानी जाती थी। उसका गांव एक कोजी कॉटेज था जिसका thatched roof और blooming window boxes थे। कॉटेज के आसपास एक छोटा सा गार्डन था जहां क्लारा और उसकी माँ हर्ब्स और फ्लावर्स उगाते थे। लैवेंडर और रोजमेरी की खुशबू अक्सर खिड़कियों से अंदर आती थी, घर को एक कंफर्टिंग अरोमा से भर देती थी। गांव के चारों तरफ गोल्डन व्हीट के खेत और एक गाना पुराना जंगल था जिसे विस्परिंग वुड्स कहते थे। खेत दूर तक फैले हुए थे, हवा में धीरे धीरे झूलते हुए, और जंगल अपने बड़े बड़े पेड़ों के साये में अपने राज छुपाए हुए था।
मुझे अपना गाँव और यहाँ की शांति भरी जिंदगी बहुत पसंद है। यहाँ के दिन प्रकृति के साउंड्स और बच्चों की हंसी से भरे होते हैं। यह एक ऐसी जगह है जहाँ सब एक दूसरे को जानते हैं और हमेशा एक फ्रेंडली फेस मिलता है।
क्लारा एक काइंड और क्यूरियस लड़की थी जिसके ब्राइट इंक्विजिटिव आईज और एक करेजियस हार्ट था। वो हमेशा नए चीजें एक्सप्लोर करने और सीखने के लिए ईगर रहती थी, चाहे वो अपने गार्डन की प्लांट्स के बारे में हो या पुराने जंगल की कहानियां। वो अपने छोटे भाई टिमी के साथ खेत में खेलती थी। वो टॉल ग्रास के बीच दौड़ते, उनकी हंसी खुले मैदान में गूंजती थी। खेत उनका प्लेग्राउंड था जहां उनकी इमेजिनेशन को उड़ान भरने का मौका मिलता था। वो बटरफ्लाइज का पीछा करते, फ्लावर क्राउन्स बनाते और एक दूसरे को कहानियां सुनाते। हर दिन एक एडवेंचर होता, बचपन की सिंपल जॉय से भरा हुआ। वो अक्सर प्रिटेंड करते कि वो एक्सप्लोरर्स हैं, नए देश और छुपी हुई खजाने ढूंढ रहे हैं। गायों की जिंदगी सिंपली और खुश थी। गाँव वाले मेहनत करते थे, लेकिन वो छोटी छोटी चीज़ों का मजा लेना भी जानते थे। हमेशा फेस्टिवल्स और गैदरिंग्स होती थी जहां सब मिलकर सेलिब्रेट करते और कम्युनिटी की खुशी में शामिल होते।
एक sunny afternoon, जब shadows लंबी हो रही थी, टिमी और मेन वुड्स के किनारे हाइड एंड सीक खेल रहे थे। उस समय जंगल हमेशा थोड़ा मैजिकल लगता था, जब सनलाइट लीव्स की बीच से फिल्टर होती थी और जमीन पर डैपल्ड शैडोज डलती थी। मैंने अपनी आंखें बंद की और गिना शुरू किया। मेरा दिल हंसी से हल्का था। मुझे टिमी की गिगल सुनाई दी जब वो एक हाइडिंग स्पॉट ढूंढने के लिए दौड़ रहा था और मेन सर्च शुरू करने के लिए इंतजार नहीं कर सकती थी।
जब उसने अपनी आंखें खोली, टिमी का हिन नहीं था। क्लारा की हंसी धीरे धीरे खत्म हो गई जब उसने इधर उधर देखा। उसका दिल चिंता से तेज धड़कने लगा। डर ने क्लारा के दिल को छू लिया। उसने टिमी को बुलाया, उम्मीद करते हुए कि वो सिर्फ उसके साथ मजाक कर रहा है, लेकिन कोई जवाब नहीं आया। टिमी का भी डर नहीं जाता था। उसने विलेज के पास रहने के रूल्स को समझा था, खासकर जंगल के पास जो छोटे बच्चों के लिए खतरनाक हो सकता था।
टिमी तुम कहाँ हो? मैंने बुलाया, मेरी आवाज हर गुजराती पल के साथ ज्यादा डेस्परेट होती गई।
उसने फिर से उसका नाम बुलाया। उसकी आवाज साइलेंट ट्रीज में गूंज उठी। जंगल ने अपनी सांस रोकी हुई थी, जैसे कुछ होने का इंतजार कर रहा हो। और फिर से उसकी आवाज साइलेंट ट्रीज में गूंज उठी। सिर्फ उसकी अपनी आवाज का एरी एको वापस आया जो जंगल के गहराइयों से उसके पास लौट रहा था। कोई जवाब नहीं आया, सिर्फ पत्तों की खुशफुस और एक अजीब अनसेटलिंग क्वाइट। जंगल जो अक्सर जिंदगी से भरा होता था अब ओमिनस और फोरबोर्डिंग लग रहा था। क्लारा को पता था कि यूज टिमी को रात होने से पहले ढूंढना होगा, वरना विस्परिंग वुड्स अपने राज हमेशा के लिए छुपा लेगा। The whispering woods had always held an air of mystery and a hint of danger. The villagers spoke of it in hushed tones, sharing tales passed down through generations. Legend had it that the woods were enchanted, home to ancient spirits who whispered secrets on the wind.
Some whispers were harmless, playful even, carrying the scent of wildflowers or the melody of birdsong. Others were darker, filled with warnings and riddled with trickery.
It was said that the woods could bewitch the unwary, leading them astray with false promises and treacherous paths. Clara had always been warned never to venture into the woods alone, especially not after sunset. But fear for Timmy outweighed her apprehension.
I have to find Timmy, even if it means facing the unknown dangers that lurk within the whispering woods.
With a deep breath and a pounding heart, Clara grabbed an oil lamp from the porch, its flame flickering bravely against the approaching dusk. Clutching it tightly, she whispered a silent prayer for courage and stepped into the deepening shadows of the woods. The moment Clara crossed the threshold of the woods, the air grew heavy and still. It was as if she had stepped into another world, one where time itself seemed to slow down, and every sound was amplified in the eerie silence. The playful whispers of the wind seemed to fade, replaced by an unnerving silence that pressed in around her. The forest, which had always been a place of adventure and wonder, now felt like a labyrinth of shadows and secrets. The trees, once familiar landmarks, now loomed like menacing giants, their branches intertwined, forming a dense canopy that choked the last rays of sunlight. The deeper she ventured, the darker it became, as if the forest itself was swallowing the light.
Timmy, where are you? Please answer me! Her voice echoed through the trees, but there was no reply, only the haunting silence that seemed to mock her desperation.
Fear threatened to overwhelm Clara, but the thought of Timmy, lost and alone in the deepening darkness, fueled her resolve. She couldn't let her fear paralyze her. She had to find him, no matter what. She called his name, her voice trembling slightly, but there was no response, only the echo of her own fear bouncing back from the silent trees. The forest seemed to absorb her cries, leaving her feeling more isolated with each passing moment.
I have to keep going. I can't give up now, Clara whispered to herself, trying to muster the courage to continue. She knew that giving up was not an option. Timmy was out there somewhere, and he needed her.
Clutching the lantern tightly, its warm glow a small beacon of hope in the gathering gloom, Clara began her search. The lantern's light cast long, flickering shadows that danced on the forest floor, creating an almost surreal atmosphere. She followed the winding paths, her eyes scanning the undergrowth for any sign of her brother. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig made her heart race, but she couldn't afford to be distracted by fear. Each fallen branch, each rustle of leaves, sent a jolt of fear through her, but she pressed on, her love for Timmy urging her forward. She remembered the stories they had shared, the laughter, and the bond that was stronger than any fear. Clara knew that she had to be brave for both of them. The forest was vast and intimidating, but her determination was unwavering. She would find Timmy no matter how long it took, no matter how dark the path became. With each step, she whispered a silent promise to her brother. "I'm coming, Timmy. Hold on." As Clara ventured deeper into the woods, the whispers began to return, soft and insidious, weaving through the trees like threads of smoke. They seemed to emanate from the trees themselves, their voices a chorus of rustling leaves and creaking branches.
Which path leads to safety?
Some were faint, barely audible, while others were clear and sharp, their tones laced with an unsettling amusement. They whispered riddles in her ear, their words twisting and turning, promising help, and then snatching it away with mocking laughter.
Choose wisely, little one, for the woods hold many secrets, and not all are kind.
Disoriented and afraid, Clara stumbled upon a fork in the path. Both trails looked equally treacherous, swallowed by the encroaching darkness. She closed her eyes, trying to block out the confusing whispers, seeking the quiet strength within herself.
I have to find Timmy. I can't let these whispers mislead me.
Clara decided to trust her instincts. She chose the path that felt less traveled, her hand brushing against the rough bark of the trees for guidance. The path led her deeper into the heart of the woods, where the air hung heavy with the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves. Each step she took was cautious, her senses heightened by the eerie silence that enveloped her. The forest seemed to close in around her, the towering trees casting long shadows that danced in the dim light. Clara's heart raced as she ventured further, the weight of the unknown pressing down on her shoulders.
I hope this is the right way. Please, let it be the right way. The uncertainty gnawed at her, but she pushed forward, driven by a desperate need to find her brother. Every rustle of leaves and snap of twigs made her jump, her eyes darting around in search of any sign of life. She couldn't afford to lose hope now, not when she was so close.
Just when her hope began to dwindle, a faint light flickered through the trees. With renewed determination, Clara stumbled towards it, her heart pounding with a mixture of fear and anticipation. As she drew closer, she saw that the light came from a small, dilapidated cabin, its wooden walls overgrown with ivy, its windows dark and empty. The sight of the cabin sent a shiver down her spine, but she knew she had to investigate. The light was a beacon in the darkness, a sign that she wasn't alone in these woods.
Timmy! Timmy, are you there? Her voice echoed through the trees, the desperation clear in her tone. She waited, holding her breath, hoping for a response. The silence that followed was almost unbearable, each second stretching into an eternity.
Clara called out Timmy's name, her voice hoarse with exhaustion and worry. To her immense relief, a small voice answered, weak but unmistakable. It was coming from inside the cabin. The sound of Timmy's voice filled her with a surge of hope, and she felt a renewed sense of urgency. She had to get to him to make sure he was safe.
Clara? Is that you? Timmy's voice was faint, but it was enough to spur her into action. She could hear the fear in his voice, and it broke her heart to think of him alone and scared in the dark.
Relief washed over Clara, momentarily eclipsing her fear. She rushed towards the cabin, her lantern held high, its light cutting through the darkness, guiding her towards the source of the sound. The forest seemed to part before her, the path becoming clearer with each step. She could feel the adrenaline coursing through her veins, propelling her forward.
I'm coming, Timmy! She shouted, her voice filled with determination. She wouldn't let anything stand in her way. The thought of finding Timmy gave her the strength to push through her fear and exhaustion. Hold on, I'm almost there. Clara's pace quickened, her eyes fixed on the cabin ahead. She could see the faint outline of Timmy through the window, and it gave her the final burst of energy she needed. She was almost there, and she wouldn't stop until she had him safely in her arms.